investment property, is this the year to sell your rental property? There's a couple things to take into consideration. First, we're seeing a little better action in the rental market or in the sales market this spring, but the timing of when your property is available to sell really plays into this decision. So if your property is available to sell right now, sure, put it on the market, give it a try, see what happens. If it doesn't sell, you still have time to put it back on the rental market. All of that opportunity is still there for you. However, if you are making a decision in April on whether to give your tenant 91-day notice that you're going to sell, you need to think about the timing. If you give 91-day notice to sell, and that means you get your property at the end of July, so early April. Every single time you take a property off the rental market and you put it on the sales market, there's going to be time that needs to be invested in preparing the property. So there'll be some transition maintenance. You may need to do a fresh coat of paint. You are likely changing out or cleaning flooring. You would maybe consider staging. You need pictures. So there's all the things that go into putting your property on the market. So you're likely not on the market for 2 to 3 weeks, which means you do not hit the sales market till the mid or end of August. And if you're giving 91 days notice because you're selling, you are responsible to not try to rent the property again for 90 days, which means that August, September, and October need to just be sales. Again, this is just an opportunity to sell. It is not until November that if you do not get the price you want and you do not sell your property, that you'd be going back on the rental market. As we both know, November's not a great time to sell a property and it's not a great time to rent a property. It can happen, but you're going to most likely take a hit on price. So what we're seeing right now is that if you are going to sell your investment property, you really have to think about your tolerance for lost rental income, for transition expenses to put it on the sales market, the tolerance for being on the market for 90 days, and then the understanding that if you do not sell in 90 days, you'll either be in a November market of sales or in a November market of rental. So it's really important to be thinking this through and just making sure that you're making a great choice for yourself and your property and optimizing on the sale of the property. My advice is that if you are not certain you have the tolerance for that, and you're not certain that that's what you want to do, is that you think about a renewal into 2027 that sets you up for success for next year. So maybe a renewal date through April 30th of 2027. What that allows you to do is to settle into your rental for another period of time. You will not need to make a decision to sell that property until January 31st of 2027. So you can get into the new year, you can get a sense of the market, you can get a sense of whether you want to sell in 2027, and then give your tenant appropriate notice. If you use those dates, you will then be on the market in May of 2027. So May, June, July, much better months to be on the market. And also, if things don't go as planned and you're feeling like maybe you'd like to keep the property as an investment property, you're going back on the rental market in August, not November. So my advice to you is think through the timing, think through the responsibility of timing with a tenant in place. Think about your level of tolerance of investing in your property to get it on the market, and think about the actual market and the timing of that market. And you just need to be prepared for what may happen if you choose to put your property on the market in August. And so that's our advice. Our advice is that only you know what's best for you, but take all these things into consideration. If you want to talk through this and you need to talk to your asset manager, you want to have a conversation with me about it and thinking through what's the best strategy, let's have that conversation, because only you know what's right for you, but we want to make sure we're sharing information and helping you think through this decision so you set yourself up for success. Okay, thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.